The brother's shadow. The darkness of Marcus's flat felt oppressive now, no longer intimate, but threatening. Alex sat on the edge of the bed, phone still clutched in her hand, the message from V2 glowing accusingly in the dim light filtering through the curtains. "We need to think this through logically," Marcus said, pacing beside the window. He'd pulled on jeans and a t-shirt, his surgeon's mind already working through possibilities. "Thomas has been in our friend group for years. He introduced Sienna to me. If he were involved, why would he what?" Alex interrupted. "Why would he let his sister take the fall? Maybe that was always the plan. Maybe Sienna was meant to be caught, to distract us while he..." She stopped, shaking her head. "God, listen to me. I'm accusing Thomas of conspiracy when 24 hours ago I would have trusted him with my life." Marcus sat beside her, taking her hand. "That's what this has done to us. Made us suspicious of everyone." Alex's phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. "Still awake, I see. Can't sleep after your little victory? Don't get comfortable. The real game starts tomorrow." "Fuck," Alex breathed. "They're watching us right now." Marcus moved to the window, carefully scanning the street below. "I don't see anyone, but that doesn't mean they're not there." He turned back to her. "We need to call Detective Okonkwo, now." "At 3 a.m? This is an active threat, Alex. She needs to know." 20 minutes later, Detective Sarah Okonkwo was in Marcus's living room, her face drawn with exhaustion but alert. She'd thrown on jeans and a Metropolitan Police hoodie, her natural hair pulled back in a hasty bun. "Show me the messages," she said without preamble. Alex handed over her phone. Okonkwo studied the screen, her expression darkening. "Different number from any we've seen before. They're using burner phones, probably switching them frequently." She looked up. "But the timing is interesting. These came within an hour of Sienna Vale's arrest becoming official record in our system." "Meaning what?" Marcus asked. "Meaning either they have access to police systems or they were physically present when we brought her in and saw her processed." Okonkwo pulled out her own phone. "I'm going to have our tech team trace this number, but I'm not optimistic. These people are sophisticated." "People," Alex repeated. "You think there's more than one?" Sienna Vale orchestrated a 2-year conspiracy involving 3 separate individuals. That takes resources, planning, technical expertise. The question is whether V2 was her partner all along or whether they're operating independently. Okonkwo's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, frowned, then looked at Alex and Marcus. "We've got a problem. Thomas Vale just arrived at Scotland Yard. He's demanding to see his sister." The silence that followed was heavy with implication. "At 3:30 a.m? Marcus said slowly. "He claims he just found out about her arrest from a friend who saw it on the news. He's extremely agitated, threatening legal action if we don't let him see her immediately." Okonkwo stood. "I need you both to come with me. If Thomas Vale is V2, I want you there when we question him." "And if he's not?" Alex asked. "If he's just a worried brother?" "Then we've eliminated a suspect and can focus on finding who really sent those messages." The drive to Scotland Yard was tense and silent. Alex sat in the back of Okonkwo's unmarked car, watching the empty London streets slide past. Beside her, Marcus stared out his window, his jaw tight. "What are you thinking?" she asked quietly. "That I've known Thomas for 5 years. We've had drinks together, gone to matches together. He was at our engagement party." Marcus stopped, correcting himself. "At Natasha and Sophie's engagement party. If he's been planning this for 2 years, if he's been pretending all this time, then he's a better actor than his sister," Alex finished. Scotland Yard was quiet at this hour, only the night shift on duty. Okonkwo led them through security and up to the interview rooms on the 3rd floor. Through a one-way mirror, Alex could see Thomas Vale sitting at a metal table, his leg bouncing with nervous energy. He looked terrible. His usually immaculate appearance was disheveled, rumpled shirt, no jacket, hair uncombed. His eyes were red, whether from crying or lack of sleep. Alex couldn't tell. "He's been here for 15 minutes, Okonkwo said. "Hasn't stopped asking for Sienna. Claims he has no idea what she's been arrested for, that the news reports were vague." "Have you told him?" Marcus asked. "Not yet. I wanted you here first." Okonkwo turned to them. "I'm going to bring him into an interview room and explain what Sienna's been charged with. Watch his reactions. If he's genuinely shocked, We'll know. If he's faking, we'll know that too, Alex said grimly. They watched as Okonkwo entered the room where Thomas waited. He jumped up immediately. Detective, finally! I need to see my sister. What the hell is going on? The news said she was arrested for stalking and conspiracy, but that's insane. Sienna would never. Mr. Vale, please sit down. Okonkwo's voice was calm but firm. I need to explain the situation to you, and it's going to take some time. For the next 20 minutes, Okonkwo laid out the entire conspiracy. Alex watched Thomas's face carefully as the detective explained how Sienna had recruited Emma Wright, Rebecca Chen, and Julia Hartwell, how she'd orchestrated attacks on Alex and Marcus, how she'd admitted to everything just hours ago. Thomas's reaction was visceral. The color drained from his face. His hands started shaking. When Okonkwo mentioned the psychiatric hold 2 years ago, he actually flinched. No, he said, his voice barely a whisper. No, that's not possible. Sienna's been doing so well. She's been in therapy. She's been stable. She couldn't. She confessed, Mr. Vale. We have it on recording. Thomas put his head in his hands. This is my fault. I should have seen it. After what happened 2 years ago, I should have been paying more attention. What happened 2 years ago? Okonkwo asked, though Alex knew she already had this information from Sienna's confession. She had a breakdown. She was obsessed with a man who didn't want her. Thomas looked up, his eyes widening as understanding dawned. Marcus. It was Marcus, wasn't it? That's why she targeted him. Okonkwo didn't confirm or deny. Tell me about the breakdown. It was after some party. She came home talking about how she'd met someone, how he was perfect, how they'd connected, but then he never called. She started spiraling, checking her phone constantly, driving past his flat. I got her into therapy, but she got worse before she got better. Eventually, she had to be hospitalized for a few weeks. And after she was released, she seemed better. She went back to work, started seeing a new therapist. She told me she was moving on. Thomas's voice cracked. I believed her. I should have known she was just hiding it better. Alex glanced at Marcus. His expression was unreadable, but she could see the tension in his shoulders. Mr. Vale, Okonkwo continued, I need to ask you about your whereabouts this evening. Where were you between midnight and 3 a.m.? Thomas looked confused. At home. Asleep. Why? Can anyone verify that? No, I live alone. What is this about? Okonkwo pulled out her phone and showed him a screenshot of the V2 message. This was sent to Alexandra Morrison approximately 90 minutes ago. Do you know anything about it? Thomas stared at the message, then looked up at Okonkwo with genuine bewilderment. V2? I don't understand. Is someone else involved? That's what we're trying to determine. And you think it's me? Thomas's voice rose. You think I'm part of this? Detective, my sister is mentally ill. She's done terrible things, and I'll have to live with the guilt of not preventing it. But I would never. He stopped, his face hardening. Is this why you brought me here? Not to see Sienna, but to interrogate me? We need to eliminate all possibilities. Then eliminate this one right now. I had nothing to do with my sister's crimes. I didn't even know she was still obsessed with Marcus until you told me 5 minutes ago. Thomas stood abruptly. Am I under arrest? No. Then I'm leaving. And I'm getting a lawyer for Sienna. A real one who'll actually protect her rights instead of treating her like a criminal when she's clearly suffering from a psychiatric crisis. Thomas stormed out of the interview room. Through the mirror, Alex watched him go, his shoulders shaking with what might have been anger or grief. Well, Okonkwo asked, entering the observation room. What do you think? Marcus spoke first. That wasn't an act. Thomas had no idea. I agree, Alex said reluctantly, which means V2 is someone else entirely. Or, Okonkwo said carefully, the messages are from Sienna herself. She could have set up an automated system before her arrest, designed to make you think there's another threat when there isn't. Alex wanted to believe that, but something about the messages felt different from Sienna's dramatic flair. These were colder, more calculated. We need to talk to Sienna again, she said. Ask her directly about V2. She's with her lawyer right now, but I can arrange an interview for first thing in the morning. Okonkwo checked her watch, which is in about 3 hours. You two should go home, get some rest. Rest, Marcus said with a hollow laugh. Right. They didn't go back to Marcus's flat. The thought of returning to that space, where they'd briefly believed it was over, felt impossible. Instead, they went to Alex's apartment in Holborn, arriving just as the sky was beginning to lighten with the first hints of dawn. Alex made coffee while Marcus stood at her window, watching the city wake up. Neither of them spoke. What was there to say? They'd defeated Sienna, only to discover another enemy lurking in the shadows. I keep thinking about the timing, Marcus said finally. V2 waited until Sienna was arrested to reveal themselves. Why? Maybe they wanted to see if she'd give them up, Alex suggested, joining him at the window with 2 mugs. If she'd mentioned a partner. But she didn't. She took full responsibility for everything. Which means either V2 is someone she's protecting, or someone she doesn't even know about. Marcus turned to face her. What if V2 isn't about revenge at all? What if they're using Sienna's conspiracy as cover for something else? Like what? I don't know. But think about it. Emma, Rebecca, Julia, and Sienna all had personal vendettas against us. What if V2 has a different agenda entirely? Alex's phone buzzed before she could respond. Another message from the unknown number. Clever conversation, but you're looking in the wrong direction. V2 isn't who you think, and by the time you figure it out, it will be too late. They're listening, Marcus breathed. They can hear us. Alex's blood ran cold. She grabbed her phone, opening the settings, scanning for any suspicious apps or permissions. Nothing obvious, but that didn't mean her apartment wasn't bugged. She held a finger to her lips, then grabbed a notepad and pen from her desk. She wrote, "We need to leave. Now. Don't say anything." Marcus read it and nodded. They gathered their things in silence and left the apartment, not speaking until they were on the street outside. "Your flat is compromised," Marcus said. "Mine probably is too. The question is when. How long has V2 been listening?" "Long enough to know we were discussing them just now." Marcus pulled out his phone. "We need somewhere safe, somewhere they won't expect." Alex thought for a moment, then said, "The Chambers, Morrison and Blackwood. It's Saturday morning. No one will be there. And after the break-in last month, they upgraded all the security, swept for bugs, installed new systems. Are you sure it's safe? Safer than anywhere else right now." They took a cab to the Holborn Chambers, Alex using her keycard to access the building. The security guard at the desk looked surprised to see them. "Miss Morrison? Everything all right?" "Just need to catch up on some work, Martin. Long week." He nodded sympathetically. "You're telling me. Place has been like a fortress since that break-in. Mr. Morrison's not taking any chances." They rode the elevator to the 5th floor in silence. The chambers were eerily quiet, sunlight streaming through the tall windows onto empty desks and dark computer screens. Alex led Marcus to her office, closing the door behind them. "Now what?" he asked. "Now we think. Really think." Alex sat at her desk, pulling out a legal pad. "Let's list everything we know about V2. She started writing. "Has access to surveillance equipment, listening devices in both flats. Knew about Sienna's arrest within an hour of it happening. Claims to be playing a different game than Sienna. Wants us to look in the wrong direction. Sophisticated enough to avoid police detection." "Add this," Marcus said, leaning over her shoulder. "They're confident, almost cocky. The messages aren't threatening like Sienna's were. They're taunting." Alex added it to the list, then sat back, studying what they had. Someone with resources. Someone who's been planning this carefully. Someone who... Her phone rang. Detective Okonkwo. "Alex, we have a problem. Sienna Vale is asking to speak with you. Specifically you. She says she has information about V2, but she'll only share it with you present." "That could be a trap," Marcus said, loud enough for Okonkwo to hear. "I'm aware," the detective replied, "but she's in custody in an interview room with cameras and armed officers. She can't hurt you. And if she really does know something..." "I'll be there in 20 minutes, Alex said. She ended the call and looked at Marcus. "I have to go. Then I'm coming with you." "Marcus? Non-negotiable. We're in this together, remember?" They arrived at Scotland Yard to find Sienna Vale looking remarkably composed for someone who'd confessed to multiple felonies just hours earlier. She sat at the interview table, her hands folded neatly in front of her, a slight smile on her face. "Alexandra," she said as Alex entered with Marcus and Okonkwo. "Thank you for coming." "What do you want, Sienna?" "To help you. Believe it or not, I don't want you to suffer anymore. Forgive me if I don't believe that, Alex said coldly. Fair enough. Sienna's smile faded. But what I'm about to tell you is true. V2 is real, and they're more dangerous than I ever was. Who are they? I don't know their identity, but I know what they want. Sienna leaned forward. They contacted me 6 months ago, offered to help with my plans against you and Marcus, provided resources, information, technical support. I thought they were just someone who hated you for their own reasons. And now I realize I was being used. V2 didn't care about my revenge. They were using my conspiracy as cover for something bigger, something I was never meant to understand. What are they after? Marcus demanded. I don't know, but 2 days ago, before I broke into your flat, I received a final message from them. They said that once I was caught, the real game would begin. That my arrest would trigger Phase 2. Phase 2 of what? That's what you need to figure out. Sienna pulled a piece of paper from her pocket and slid it across the table. These are the dates and times V2 contacted me. Maybe your tech people can trace the pattern, find something I missed. Okonkwo picked up the paper, studying it. Why are you helping us? Because I'm not a monster, detective. I'm sick. I know that now. And I don't want whatever V2 is planning to succeed, especially if it means more people getting hurt. Alex studied Sienna's face, looking for signs of deception. But all she saw was genuine fear. There's something else, Sienna said quietly. V2 told me once that they knew things about both of you that I didn't. Secrets from before we met. They said that when the time was right, they'd use those secrets to destroy you in ways I never could. The interview ended 20 minutes later with more questions than answers. As Alex and Marcus left Scotland Yard, the morning sun now fully risen over London, Alex felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature. Secrets from before we met, she said. What could that mean? Marcus's face was pale. I don't know, but I think we need to start looking at our pasts. Really looking. Because V2 knows something we don't. Alex's phone buzzed. Another message. Good talk with Sienna? She told you just enough to make you paranoid, but not enough to help. That's the beauty of this game, Alexandra. You're chasing shadows while I'm already 10 steps ahead. And Marcus? That secret you've been keeping? The one you think no one knows about? I know, and soon everyone else will too. Alex showed Marcus the message. She watched the blood drain from his face as he read it. Marcus, what secret? He looked at her, his eyes filled with fear, and something else. Guilt. There's something I haven't told you, he said quietly. Something from before we met. Something I thought I'd buried forever. What is it? Before he could answer, both their phones buzzed simultaneously. A message from an unknown number, but this time it included a photo. Alex's hands trembled as she opened it. The image showed Marcus, clearly years younger, standing with a woman Alex didn't recognize. They were in what looked like a hospital room, and the woman was holding a baby. Below the photo, a single line of text. Ask him about Edinburgh. Ask him about the child he abandoned.
Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures. Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures.